Alright, the last time I tried recording a video with Bandicam, it captured all of my background audio and I couldn't get rid of the noise, so I couldn't use the footage. So, the pictures you're seeing right now is a conversation. You can tell this was my old Discord because I still had my old profile picture and my old Discord name. This is with a dude named For Corey who admitted that he's on the spectrum. And the main reason I'm showing these pictures, because I got a couple of more I want to show, is because I'm establishing a consistent pattern of behavior. So the dude was giving people my Discord, and then he tries to play coy here. No, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Of course not. Nope, I'm not leaking nothing over here. So I just looked at that because I didn't really care. He says, thank you for destroying autism. And I just let him know, man, I'm not going to succeed with that. Like, autism is already affecting, some estimates as high as 30 to 50% of the newer generation. It's here to stay and it's not going away. And in a couple of generations, this is going to be the normal way of thinking and operating. People who didn't have autism are going to be considered a myth, a legend, something that just was never a thing, right? But this video isn't to bash on autism any more than need be. So, the consistent pattern of behavior that I want to point out, he said that I still think the Nazis invented autism. So, you guys know me, right? I like to shut shit down with 100% certainty. I'll pay you 100 USD right now through PayPal if you can provide a timestamp, audio file, or screenshot a quote where I said that. This is your chance to prove that autistic people aren't retarded. Do you guys think he passed the test? Do you guys think he stood on his word and presented 100% evidence of me saying that shit? Of course not. He's on the spectrum. So his reply is, Freeze showed that audio recording in his video exposing you. So I said, show it. If I said the Nazis invented autism, you get 100 USD. If you fail, then, well, you're only proving why it's wise to be ableist. Now, I neutered Mr. Freeze's channel, so that video doesn't exist anymore. But I still got a copy of the video because I needed a copy of the video to fucking neuter his channel. So I may insert the quote. I may insert the part he's talking about right here. Doesn't have 400 views. It has 3,000.
So this is what I'm saying, right? You got Nazis making your medicine, and you wonder why autism suddenly started appearing afterwards?
Now, a couple of people have typed in the comments on that video that, let me put my ring on. A couple of people have typed in the comments of the video that I did about this guy is that this guy apparently is legitimately mental. I thought he was trolling, but people messaged me like, no dude, this guy's there's really something wrong with him. He wasn't trolling, but it's nice to see that he made a video about me, so we're gonna watch it live. Fuck it. If I do insert it, there you go. The clip he's talking about, not once did I say the Nazis invented autism. So, and he's like, you'll come up with some excuse, and my reply is, no excuse, you're just illiterate. Even in that audio clip you just showed, I never say the Nazis invented autism. Thank you for proving the stereotype that autistic people have a hard time understanding basic words. Keep in mind, this conversation took place close to 3 years ago. At the time, Mr. For Corey was 24. As you guys can tell in the conversation, he can't even speak basic English, which most autistic people can't. And he could have used that money to get a taxi and to start driving to some locations and filling out job applications. 24, no fucking job. And he's like, oh, well, you can just be seen as a pedo. Even if the police aren't used against you, you're still tainting your social life. And it's like, buddy, Like, you guys showing people my videos improved my social life. Like, do y'all have any idea how many fucking chicks I've gotten from you fuckers showing people my video? And then I said, fuck all that. Aren't you a 24-year-old virgin? Like, who are you to talk to me about a social life? And it's not cool, man. You gave so basically in a previous conversation I had with the guy, because I made a video called "My Message to Special Ed People" or something along those lines. For Corey admitted in that video that he's homophobic and transphobic. Now, you guys got to keep in mind, Toontown is this guy's social life. So this is why he thinks being disliked on an online community is tainting your social life, because this is all he has. Somebody explained to me a few months ago this is all they have. So whatever, right? Again, this video was not to bully the dude any more than need be. I just want to show a consistent pattern of behavior. So on to the next couple of slides. So moving on to the next couple of slides, we got Exhibit 2. Now, Static Snow has never admitted to me that he's on the spectrum or that he has autism or Asperger's or any of that stuff. But you guys be the judge on, we're just going to get right into it. So Static Snow said in the previous conversation that he's watched me for many years and has seen most of my videos, and he thinks that my IQ is anywhere between, is either 90 or 140. And he's like, I've been watching you a long time and I know it's either one or the other. And my response to him was, neither of those are right, but I tell you what, man, if you're ever in Maryland, we can drive up to New Jersey together and get a fresh Mensa score, because I need one anyways. Now, obviously, he didn't reply to that, because as you guys saw with the Triple Q debate, if you tell these people to leave the house and get 100% truthful confirmation that what they're saying is wrong, they're never going to say yes to that. He said my IQ is either 90 or 140. None of those are right. I offered him a chance. We can drive up to Jersey together and, we can go to the source, get a fresh score together and see what each other's IQs are. He didn't want to do that. Cool. I didn't expect him to reply to my offer, right? So a few days after that, he's trying to bait me here. He's like, talk about race and genetics. And I'm just like, what specifically are you asking? And then he asked me some weirdo shit. Do you think race is a biological reality? If yes, do you think it genetically has an effect on behavior patterns? I'll give the full disclaimer that my answer to both of these questions is I can't speak today. It's empathic, yes, but I'm curious as to what you think of race. So I clarified to him, human is a race. Shit like black, white, etc. are ethnic groups of humans. We haven't divulged significantly enough to be separate species like a lion and a panther, for example. Two cats on paper, but significant differences. And you guys know, every time I speak on my channel, I try to bring natural law into the conversation at some point, and that's what I'm doing here. Humans, unlike animals, have free will. So our behavior is solely on us and not determined by genetics. Now, humans of different parts of the world do evolve differently, which is why I need relaxers in my hair to keep my hair straight. But a European, some of them have naturally straight hair. We're talking slight deviations though. The last time humans deviated significantly is between Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, and from what I understand, Gen Z and Gen A, y'all aren't taught what a Neanderthal is, right? I've dated several chicks from Gen Z, none of them knew what Neanderthals were. Millennials, we're taught about evolution in school. We're taught about Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, Homo erectus, the whole 9 yards. But from what I understand, Gen Z, they don't know what a Neanderthal is, which is cool. Again, I'm not trying to make fun of these people any more than necessary. But getting to the point, you see color as a race. But if you live long enough, your skin color can change. I think it's said that if you take a black person and you put them in Siberia, it takes anywhere from 20 to 30 generations for that person's skin to change and start becoming white, as well as their hair becoming blonde and whatnot. But, that person would need to live for 20 to 30 generations. And if they don't live that long, that's how many generations it would take for his kin to begin to evolve those traits. His reply is, of course, race is more than skin color. Race is simply your genetic ancestry. So when I say I'm white, I mean my ancestors come from Europe, specifically Germany and Ireland in my case. But like you said, there's physical differences in the hair, eye, skin color, blah, blah, blah. But you rule out that the brains might be different as well. Your assertion that genetics and biology have no effect on how we think sounds like a belief. Now again, y'all saw the 4 Corey guy. He tried to say that I stated that Nazis invented autism, and as you guys will hear in the clip earlier on in the video, I never say that, right? I even skimmed to the 105 section he's talking about to play the clip, and yeah, I never say that, but this is the consistent pattern of behavior. Where the hell do I say that our brains aren't different? Like, let's scroll back up, guys. Again, let's read the comments. Where the hell do I say that our brains aren't different? It would be interesting if there was like some type of video game that lets you play as an autistic person just to see how their brains think, because it's almost like they see stuff that doesn't exist, right? People call me the schizo, but I mean, these guys just fucking insert shit in my comments that I'd never even fucking say. So like I did before Corey. I tell him, I'm beginning to think that you're the one with the IQ of 90. And I don't think his IQ was 90. I think his IQ was lower than that. I think his IQ was like 50 or 60. But I told him, quote me where I said our brains aren't different, and I'll cash up you $100. His reply is, well, if our brains are different, then why would that have no effect on... He just completely dodged what I said, right? Again, quote me where I said this, and $100 on Cash App is yours. You people be hearing and reading all kinds of things I've never said. So, I'm assuming he carefully reread what I said and realized, okay, fair enough, you did not say that. But if our brains are different, then it would make no sense that our brain processes are identical. If genetics affect our brains, then it affects our thought process. And if it affects our thought process, it affects our actions. And again, not understanding what I just said. So I had to repeat again. I think this guy's IQ was like 50. So I repeated it again in a different way to where he could understand what I'm saying. If I tell you 2 + 2 = 4, it's your free will decision making that allows you to accept that it's the truth or reject it. Genetics don't override free will. This is one of 2 key differences between you and an animal. You decide 100% if you accept or reject truthful information. Just like how you realized you were reading things I never said and corrected it. That was you using your free will to not be stubborn. What gene makes you lose your free will? None. He finishes the little mini debate with, I agree with you, but what about emotions? Genetics could make someone's fight or flight response a bit too sensitive and make them think irrationally, make them more violent, etc. Now, I didn't reply to this guy's comment because he was starting to annoy me, but it's the same fucking answer. You, as a human being, again, a lot of you guys think humans are animals. Maybe this is why y'all don't understand basic shit. Unlike an animal, you have free will. Well, I mean, even an animal, though, right? An animal can get angry, but they're not going to commit suicide. If an animal knows that reacting a certain way means death, they're going to control their emotions and not do what they want. So even animals understand this basic survival concept, but what makes humans unique is that a human being could know that their next action could mean death, and they can use their free will to do it anyways. Because we're humans and not animals, we have the free will to override our survival mechanisms. We have the free will to not listen to our emotions when they warn us that taking a certain action means death. And we also have the free will to control our anger if our anger makes us want to do something that's irrational. So it's the same thing. As a human, you have free will, so no matter how you feel, you still have the final say. You're not a robot, right? In 2026, humans aren't robots yet, right? Scientists are doing all kinds of experiments right now trying to make cyborgs and shit, but in 2026, the day of making this video, humanity isn't, we're not robots. You still have free will. You're in full control of all that shit, no matter what your emotional state is. A human being who can't control his emotions has reverted back to the state of an animal. Anyways, that's it for this guy. That was Exhibit 2. Let's go to the coup de grace. And now we go to Exhibit C, the coup de grace, the third, because, I like to establish a consistent pattern of behavior. I don't like to just talk out of my ass. And even here, I'm kind of 50-50. I don't know if this is a trait. I don't know if this behavior is something that is, a sign of being on the spectrum, a sign of autism. Because I know dyslexia is when you, see words differently than what they actually are. But I don't know if dyslexia applies to verbal, listening skills and comprehension. But nonetheless, Exhibit C, this time featuring the post I made earlier today. Cattle orcs will demand proof, then on rare occasions when you're feeling generous and present 100% proof beyond a reasonable doubt, like this video, they'll either go silent or turn it into a joke comedic skit, but actually accepting the information and admitting that they were wrong, that almost never happens. Then doing something about it, and actually retaining the information so they walk away with more knowledge than before, happens even less. There's no point in proving anything to the orc fodder. Use them as a natural resource, and remember, they exist for a reason. They have to be the way they are so that those of us who get it can continue to live life on easy mode. So again, that's why I'm not trying to make fun of these people any more than need be. Because it may sound like I hate these people, and I used to, in my early 20s. But eventually I realized, these guys are just a natural resource, right? There can only be so many lions in the jungle. You have to have a lot of prey for the predators to eat and be fat and prosper. If everybody's a lion, nobody's a lion. Hell, even if there's no lions around, what happens if you get too many herbivores in one space, right? They eventually eat all the grass and berries and shit. Now the herbivores go extinct, not because there's too many predators, but because they ate all the vegetation, right? All the fertile land that they're supposed to feast on. But I digress. Or they evolve into predators, but that's a whole different scientific discussion. And this post was inspired by all the people who say a conspiracy, then go silent or turn into dancing clowns whenever 100% evidence is presented. I presented 100% evidence in my Triple Q debate and absolute silence. But I digress. So, Mr. Exhibit C replies to my post. Michael IT 1999 is, a zealous follower of God, which, whatever, you can follow whatever you want. But the dude said in a post from roughly a month ago. You claimed humans can grow teeth back after losing their second set, and it's not a claim. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Michael, but I think you're the one who actually pointed out. Somebody actually provided the proof for me. Now, the proof they provided was something that's classified as a disease and or genetic disorder. It's basically when a human continues to grow new teeth indefinitely even when they don't need it. They can't control the growth of their teeth, so it keeps growing back to the point where it's detrimental. I think it was Michael himself who posted this on my post. I could be wrong though, but nonetheless, just go back and read that old post. Because I told people that there's two ways for the human body to grow new teeth. I was actually wrong. There's three. I was thinking of two because one specific way I witnessed myself. The second way was the disease that either this guy or somebody else was talking about, but that specific way isn't always a disease. There's a way to trigger that regrowth in a controlled manner to where you don't just keep regrowing teeth indefinitely. And the third one is not one I've said on video nor was said in the post. You know, you guys can find all three ways yourselves if you know how to look, where to look, or if you just leave the fucking house. But anyways, I don't know. I think he's the one who posted one of the three ways himself. I need to go back and read my old thread, but I digress. Assuming you mean they can go to third, fourth, and beyond sets of new teeth, how about this? Show proof. You have evidence of that. I don't even need to. Somebody on the post you're talking about provided the proof for you. But whatever. Show proof you have evidence of that, specifically documented in real life evidence. And if you do, we'll do a live debate on God, vaccines, or literally every single topic you want. I know all of my values, so I got a true answer for all of your beliefs. So this will be easy for me. To which point I was like, I don't know why people keep trying to, like, religious people, especially religious people on the spectrum, it is so hard for them to comprehend that there's people out there who don't live life based off of beliefs. There's not many of us out there that are like this, but there are humans out there, guys, who, if they don't have the answer to something, they just say, I don't know. And after they say, I don't know, they'll either continue to not know, or they'll use their free will to try to find out what is true. Not everybody walking around just invents a fucking belief every time they don't know something. That's what the cattle orcs do. The cattle orcs make up shit out of thin air, call it a religion, and then say it's my beliefs, it's my faith. Which is cool, but all people don't do that. So I got annoyed after he said this. And it's not just him. A lot of people try to like trick me into saying beliefs. So this was my response to him. I have zero beliefs. If you can't even comprehend this, I see zero reason to debate you. I mean, don't debate religious people in the first place, because they'll admit to you that religion is not about truth. It's not about evidence. Religion is about faith and belief, not about fact, truth, and logic. They'll admit this to you. So his response was, I hope God helps you in finding the correct path, because unfortunately the more time goes on, you just appear more and more of a fraud. And that's really unfortunate. And this is what guys like this don't understand. Before I changed the content of my channel, my videos were getting hundreds of thousands of views. I had 5 million views in total before I took those videos down. I switched my content to Pirate 101, and I went from getting hundreds of thousands of views to a couple thousands of views. So my audience shrunk by roughly 9/10 of the size. I shrunk my audience even smaller by taking even those videos down and only making the content that I make right now. You guys can see glimpses of the past when you look at my video history and see some of the older videos that I still have up on my channel. I intentionally shrunk my audience. I don't give a fuck if people think I'm a fraud. I don't care. But I also tell people to go outside to the source and verify everything I've said with their own eyes, but I get it. You guys don't want to do that. In the Triple Q debate, I told you guys the location of immortal cells that are in a public facility. Morgan State University is a state university. That means it's open to the public. You can walk in the front door, ask where the laboratory is, can I see the cells, and they'll let you. This isn't even shit that they're trying to hide, okay? But this is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean by 100% proof. I said this in a well, it wasn't a live debate, but I said this on video. You guys can literally get in your car and drive to Morgan State University and see the immortal cells with your own eyes. If you think I'm a fraud when I'm showing you where you can go to get 100% verification of what I'm talking about, that's on you. I really don't give a fuck. I keep my audience small now for a reason, because I don't make these videos to get popular. If I wanted to make videos to be popular, I would have kept all my older videos up. But I digress. Now you won't even man up and debate me because you can't accept that your beliefs are wrong. He annoyed me again, right? At this point, I drew the line. State one single belief I have, and then sure, I'll debate you. Refuse, and I'm banning you permanently from my channel. Like I did with the Corey guy, and like I did with the Snow guy. I cut through the bullshit, I get right to the points, present 100% proof of me having beliefs, 100% proof of me saying the Nazis invented autism, present 100% proof of me saying that our brains aren't different. Again, y'all see the consistent pattern of behavior with these people. They just love injecting shit that I've never said. Well, he doesn't do that fully yet, but we're getting to that. This reply to that is, you're trying to censor or silence me will always ultimately make you look worse. I don't care about what people think of me, bro. That should be apparent by now to anybody who watches my channel. I don't give a fuck. I'd rather you people go away and leave me alone, to be honest with you. I don't know why guys like this watch my channel. But now he's gonna start listing what he thinks I believe. You believe every single vaccine does harm. You believe God doesn't exist. I guarantee you believe a few lies your friends have told you as truth right now. This just shows how little this guy knows of me, man. If I catch any of my friends in a lie, I bluntly tell them that they're not being honest, and then I show them proof as to how I know they're lying. They get one warning. Then if they lie to me again, I cut them off. Ask any of my friends. They'll verify this for you. But that's not important. So I didn't even read the second half of his comment, to be honest. I've read these two things he said that I believe, and then I just immediately replied to him. I'm going to read the rest of the comments in this video, but I stopped reading after he said you believe God doesn't exist. So I spin the block. I bring it back. Quote one single video or comment where I've said God does not exist or anything implying that. And I'm going easy on him because I usually don't accept implications, but I'm trying to give him a chance here, right? And where I said every single vaccine does harm, and I'll cash up you $100. I'm noticing a consistent pattern of behavior with you people trying very hard to inject words I never said. His reply is, Scotland doesn't have Cash App, but I don't want your money. Jesus is God. You said Jesus is an egregore, when he literally resurrected? Did you ever read John 1:1? Probably more than you. John 20:28? Probably more than you. What about any Titus ones? You seem to be wrong on a lot of things you yourself claimed you read from the book Sacred Text, Holy Grammar. Also, I was the one to call you out. You keep the grammar, bro. Holy shit. You keep misinforming to people saying we Christians. Oh my god, this is so fucking hard to read. This dude needs to take an English class. Let me try this again. Let me just read it like I'm on the spectrum. I was the one that called out keep misinforming to people saying we Christians say we don't have free will when Bible literally said we do. Oh, so that's how you get through what these people be typing. You just gotta read it like you're on the spectrum. So because you were wrong about these beliefs, does that in your worldview make you a liar and natural law will go into effect because you believe it doesn't like hypocrites? I still don't get what that means. And you never will. You don't get what it means and you never will. I have to go to work. I can't wait for a response much longer. I really hope to pick this up another time, blah, blah, blah. So I stopped reading here. Again, I'm going to go back and read everything he said in the video, but I stopped reading after that sentence and then I typed my replies to him. And to the people who were still watching the video, listen carefully to this last part because this is the most important part of the video. Egregores exist. Now, when I first started using that word in my videos 10 years ago, that word didn't appear in the Google search engine. Now, egregore appears in search engines, so everybody listening to the video, even though the word egregore will not be in your physical dictionary, if you look it up online, you'll get a general idea as to what the word means. And yes, there's words that exist that aren't in your physical dictionary, such as colloquialisms, slang, and occult words. Okay? Egregore is an occult word. Shout out to DJ Hybes. He breaks this down in his book, Die Sheeple Die, which you guys can actually see on the top of my bookmarks. I got it bookmarked. So, egregores exist. No different than a DBZ character. They exist. You people have really bad reading and listening comprehension. Go ask your God to teach you how to listen and hear what's actually being said. How can you obey your God if you can't even understand what a human is telling you? Which, that's a trick question, but whatever. I'm not going to get into that. Let me drink my tea real quick and wrap this video up. The first God died a long time ago. This is not a belief. Your own Bible admits that God dies. You even admitted yourself earlier in this comments where you claim that Jesus resurrected. To resurrect, you must first die. How do you kill a guy who walks on water? Beyond me, man. The key difference is your Bible claims there was only one God. Only one person who tried this song and dance, when there were several. All of them died. Dead things still exist. Should you die, for example, what remains of your physical will stay here on Earth until it deteriorates into nature while your energy returns to where it was pre-birth, as above so below. You'll still exist after death, just not in the state you believe you'll be in. Let me repeat that one more time for you guys that don't know how to read between the lines, which is most of y'all because y'all keep typing shit like this, trying to inject words in my mouth that I never fucking said. Dude is making the claim that I said that, where does he say it at? You believe God doesn't exist. I never said that. I tell him I never said that, and then his response is, you said Jesus is an egregore. Egregores exist. Should you die, your energy returns to where it was before you were born. You see, guys, you always existed. What you call life right now, your physical state of existence, physical manifestation is the final step. But before you had a physical body, your energy was still in the universe. Should your physical body die, your energy returns back to the state it was before you were alive. Now, a lot of people listening to this video, they'll say, well, what's wrong with that? And to you guys, this is all I'm going to say. Your natural instincts give you a fear of death for a reason. You wake up, you eat food, you drink water. You try your hardest to live every single day, even if you don't like living. Even if you're depressed or suicidal, you still stop yourself from pulling the plug. Because your natural instincts are warning you that death isn't the end of your problems. It's just the beginning of a bunch of new ones that you can no longer control. So, that's all I got to say about that. I'm not telling anybody not to worship God. All I'm saying is, if you want to march into death under the belief that these people are telling you the truth, you have every right to do so. It's your free will decision making. But all I'm trying to say is that you have a natural fear of death for a reason, and you naturally try your hardest to stay alive no matter how bad life gets for a reason. Everything in the universe, including your own inner voice, is warning you that should you choose to die, it's not going to be what you think it is. I'm going to leave that there. Now, if anybody on the spectrum hears what I just said, and they still come to the conclusion that I'm saying that God doesn't exist, I don't know what to tell you. I've made it very fucking clear how I feel about God and how I feel about religion. You can join your God in death, but all I'm saying is your inner voice and that natural fear of death that you have all of that telling you not to die for a reason. That's all I'm saying. So, no more talking about that. Let's wrap this video up. You didn't even bother trying to find a quote. He completely skipped over the vaccine shit, by the way. You didn't even bother trying to find a quote where I said every single vaccine does harm. So that's 2 strikes. Seriously, work on your reading comprehension. Stop injecting. See what I did there? Stop injecting what you think I said and hear what I've actually said. How can you possibly obey your God who already speaks in riddles when you can't even listen to a guy like me who mostly speaks in basic elementary? I think if you actually want to debate, because I'm a man of my word, I'll debate the fucker. If you actually want to debate, you should enroll in either some special education English classes or remedial English 101. Learn how to hear, learn how to listen, and comprehend/understand what's actually being said. If you show up hearing only what you want to hear and not what's actually being said, you'll end up like all the other guys I've debated. And he made a comment talking about he's gonna bring me back to the light, or it's gonna take some time to bring me to the lights. And to that I left a cynical reply. You know what's funny? You'll be going to the light, all right, far sooner than I ever will. But reading the rest of what he was saying, yeah, it's just dribble. If you actually go through with this, which you won't, since there's no evidence. It's like buddy, somebody on the post you're talking about posted the evidence for you. So I don't gotta provide evidence of people regrowing their teeth after the second set because somebody on that post provided the evidence for you, assuming they didn't delete the comments. But, you know, Seek and you shall find, man. Unfortunately, most instances of people growing their teeth beyond the second and third sets, you know, the internet says that it's a disease, it's a genetic disorder. It classifies it as a bad thing. And yeah, you know, some people have uncontrollable, you know, they just keep growing teeth indefinitely, but not in a good way. But that doesn't have to be you, man. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know, seek and you shall find, right? Everything is supposed to exist in balance. And then he says, God loves me. I don't give a fuck about God, bro. I don't, I mean, a dead God, I don't need a dead God's love. What does he say here? Oh, you're a lost soul. You're a lost soul. Yeah, whatever. Whatever you said, man. He says here, I have zero beliefs in itself is a lie or a belief as well. How is it a lie, bro? I don't operate my life like if I don't know something, I just say I don't know. I don't need to make up beliefs for some shit I don't know. I either try to find the answer to it, you know what I'm saying? And if I succeed, I obtain the truth. And if I don't, I keep looking. You don't need a belief if you find out what is true. If I know 2 plus 2 equals 4, I don't need a belief. I don't need to say I believe 2 plus 2 equals 17 if I know 100% 2 plus 2 equals 4. You believe grammar like having the word lie equals 100% false, which is so stupid, so lie down to go to bed. What the hell is this guy blabbing about? You believed nature helped restart your car to get to a charger? Again, quote me where these people just, and you see the consistent pattern of behavior, they just can't help themselves. When they don't comprehend what's actually, that's why they have beliefs. Because when they don't understand or comprehend what's actually happening or what's being said, they start making up beliefs. He believed I said, nature helped me restart my car because he didn't understand what I actually said in the video. Alright. And look at this guy. Putting me on the spot unfortunately ruins my thinking skills. What thinking skills? What thinking skills? You follow God. You're not allowed to think. You're supposed to be operating on faith and belief. God hid the tree of knowledge from, well, he didn't hide the tree of knowledge. He just told you not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil because God clearly doesn't want you thinking. What thinking skills? I'm going to just leave it at that, man. I think I've more than proven my points. It's a consistent pattern of behavior. When these people don't understand what's being said, they make up a belief to the point where they believe you said something that you didn't actually say because they're not able to comprehend the information. I'm going to actually go live tomorrow. I've gotten everything done and sorted out that I needed to get done and sorted out. So yeah, man, see you guys tomorrow. Catch you in the next video. Peace.